Welcome to Gameday716, where every day is game day. We are here in sunny 90-degree Buffalo, where it feels like 91. CJ will be joining us in a little bit. I am Todd. Noah's the one whose face you can't really see. And we are here to say hello. We'll say goodbye later. And we're going to talk in between. So we appreciate you joining. Today is a very special day because it's the first day of our new format. Actually, we don't have a new format. I was just screwing with people. Today is the last day of Internet Explorer, actually. And this is really breaking a lot of hearts across the world, as Microsoft has finally retired Internet Explorer and has moved everything to Edge. So yes, no more Explorer. Everything you'll have to use Edge or Chrome or DuckDuckGo or
I wonder what my job's gonna do, because there are people who actually still use Internet Explorer.
They'll switch to Edge. Edge has an Internet Explorer compatibility mode.
Oh.
And so, especially for sites that only require Internet Explorer, that's what you have to do, is Internet Explorer compatibility. So
it'll take our IT department like a month to figure that out. So
well, it's taken our IT department a while, but we actually went to them and said
there's this option.
We actually went to them and said we have a couple sites that we own in our department that need a fix for when Internet Explorer goes down. And they're like, what do you mean Internet Explorer is going down? We're like, don't you read, get
great IT
information from Microsoft or anything? And they're like, oh, no, I guess not. So anyway, we now have our explanation on how to get to Edge.
You do it yourself.
How to use Edge. How to put it into Internet Explorer mode.
Yeah.
You know what Microsoft did with it? They put it so you can only have it in Internet Explorer mode for 30 days, and then it goes away. Just in time for you, that's just enough time to forget how to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's really frustrating because I've already had to do it twice, and because of that, both times I had to go back to our instructions that I have in Word and have to do it. So Hey. So that was our Fonzie impressions, or our impressions of me doing Fonzie.
I saw this video today.
And
this guy was just straight up Italian, straight out of a movie. He was like, yeah, look at this guy. Look at how he's pouring this drink right now. You could not pour this drink that way right now. And he's sitting there.
Sounds more like New Jersey.
And he's sitting there just like this. And he's pointing to his wife.
Sounds like The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because if he was Italian, he would have.
He was like, yeah, he was like, he goes to, who it was the wife or whatever, who's ever recording the video, literally goes, look at how he's pouring it. It's all the way up there. You could not do it that way.
Did you find out where it was from? Hey, did you find
out
where
it was from? It didn't say where it was from.
Oh, okay.
It just said, this guy's straight out of a movie.
Straight out of a movie. Gotcha. Which movie? Goodfellas, probably?
Yeah. Rest in peace, maybe.
Ray Liotta. He's dead for long enough where he... I don't know. Anyway. So, yeah, Ray Liotta died a while ago. We're still very upset about it. Noah has been in a deep dark depression ever since he passed. And it's been tough on
all of us.
It's been tough.
What do you got next?
It's been tough on all of us just dealing with his
Ray.
passing, because Field of Dreams, 8 Men
Sure,
Out.
sure.
Goodfellas.
He was in an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That other movie he was just recently in. So anyway, we're over it now. Hockey, basketball, football, baseball.
You pick.
Mike Trout swung a bat so hard it knocked out an ump.
I saw a video of this guy from back in your era who literally swung the bat so hard and then missed and then cracked it over his own bat.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was crazy.
Crazy. So, Lonzo Ball. Let's talk about Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball was the number 2 pick by the Lakers in the 2017 draft. He was picked before Jason Tatum, right? Tatum went 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
Lonzo Ball is now on his 3rd team. He was traded by the Lakers in their deal to get Anthony Davis. And now Lonzo Ball plays for Chicago. And today on his show, Skip, the genius Bayless, said that Lonzo Ball could wind up being better than Jason Tatum. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, do you like Jason Tatum? Do you know what team Tatum plays for?
The Warriors? No. Obviously, I'm going to say no.
No, you don't like Tatum?
No, to what Skip is saying. Skip likes to say stuff. He thinks the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl every year.
He's like internet clickbait.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what he wants. He
Trying
just
to get
wants
clicks.
attention. Lonzo Ball is not going to be better than Jason Tatum. Because here's the thing, and you might have said this, whatever. The thing that I kept thinking about was they need to mature. That's it.
They who?
The Celtics and Tatum. Smart is going to be the way he is.
He's mature.
He's Marcus Smart. But
He's got
Brown needs to learn how to talk and stop letting his play do the talking, or whatever this thing is he does where it seems like he doesn't talk to anyone and he's just silent the whole game.
Uh-huh.
You
don't think that works for him though?
Not when you're missing shots.
But he's been making shots pretty well. I don't know.
Yes. But you have got when Grant Williams in the Miami series stepped up and was yelling at everybody on the bench when they were down by 20 in the first half.
So why do you think that needs to be Brown?
He's your other superstar. Also, Jason Tatum needs to.
But
stop.
I've never thought of Brown as a superstar. I've thought of him.
He's gonna be.
Yeah, we've been saying that since the year he's been drafted, though.
Yeah, but I think it's coming to fruition. He had the highest point per game on the team for the fine with he averaged 26 in the last series. He averaged 25 against Miami.
I'm not saying he's bad. I'm saying he's very good. I'm just saying I don't think he's going to reach superstar status. I don't think he's going to get there.
Well, okay, maybe not superstar, but he's your number 2.
Yeah.
Behind
Lonzo Ball.
He was drafted behind Lonzo Ball. He was in that same draft.
Same draft.
Thank you, Brooklyn Nets.
For so many reasons.
They just had letting your play do the talking only works so much, And for a team like the Celtics, that is all these young guys that are like they're not homegrown, but like they were cultivated by this organization. I don't mean homegrown in terms of like they're all from Boston, like obviously. I mean homegrown in terms
of the team.
Yeah, they were the guys they drafted, brought
That's
in.
Considered homegrown.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they just, I mean, this is their first finals together, so that plays a part in it. But they just need to mature, and like once that happens for Tatum.
Hasn't Tatum gone over 40 twice in the finals?
Yeah, but he does the LeBron thing where he talks to the refs. He gets dumb fouls.
Throws his arms.
Yeah.
Oh, that part.
But like, and then like if you
stop it,
and then they're able to get in his head. Like teams are able to get in his head a little bit, and like
unless he's like completely locked in.
Yeah, and when he's completely locked in, he's silent. Mm-hmm. He doesn't complain. He just is like, I know what I'm doing.
Right.
And like,
in the end, I think that comes down to coaching, and it comes down to Udoka, and what Udoka's doing, because you see Udoka being very vocal. Well,
Stevens was very vocal too.
Yeah, but I feel like not to the extent that Udoka is. I really feel like Udoka is saying, I'm in charge. And
I think it's because it took them until the middle of the season to buy into him.
Right.
So like,
I'll agree with that.
Like, I mean, they were 8 games below 500. They were like 15 games back or something ridiculous, and then basically won every single game coming out of the All-Star break.
Yeah, all but 3 or something, right?
Yeah, so became the 2nd seed. But that was because they bought into what Udoka was preaching about being a defensive team first, while and then getting that rebound, forcing the bad shot, and then you push it down.
It's okay.
Game day, CJ.
Hello, everyone.
Live from the garage.
We're talking about something dumb that Skip Bayless said. It's just
really?
One thing.
We're talking basketball.
Just that one thing that he said.
Just the one thing he said one time? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He said Lonzo Ball could wind up being better than Jason Tatum.
Ball could wind up being better than Jason Tatum?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the Lakers didn't make a mistake picking him 2nd overall, even though Ball has been moved, is on his 3rd team.
Oh, we're not talking about the younger Ball. You're talking about the older Ball. Correct? Can nobody hear me? I guess not. Hello? Might just take. Can you hear me? Anybody hear me?
It's not your fault. It's ours. Our internet went down. So.
Oh.
Little glitch there.
Well, you can hear me with the headphones in?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we couldn't hear you because our internet went
We couldn't hear you because our internet died. Yeah.
What do you guys have?
Verizon.
We have Verizon too. We just had Verizon. Oh, we just switched. Spectrum was terrible.
I love Fios. I've had it for years now. But,
yeah, we just got it. But anyways, you were talking about the older Ball, not the younger one, right?
Yeah, that's what we were saying. Not even the good one.
I was saying, okay, I could see the younger one at his highest potential could probably be better than Tatum, but not the older one. I think you're pretty much at his max right now. And what is the most he's ever given you average a game? 20 points or so? I mean,
oh, I doubt that. I bet. What do you think? 15
for what?
His highest average for a season in points for Ball.
Yeah,
I bet it's 15 points, and because he's an assist guy.
4 or 5 assists.
No, it's probably closer to like 6 or 7.
Here you go.
Like 7 assists, I bet.
Oh wait,
his best season
in his career.
Yeah, career.
11.9.
11.9 points per game.
Yeah.
In his career.
Well, I was thinking that he was more
rebounds.
I was thinking that like when he first went to the Lakers, there really wasn't anybody else, right? So like he was definitely forced to be more of a scorer at that point. Like, so I wonder what he did earlier, like with the Lakers, if he ever got upwards above 15 points a game or not. But still, that's I don't know. To me, that's good, but that's not, that doesn't show, he's taking over games and he's
during the regular season he averaged 13, 5.4 rebounds, 5.1 assists.
He averaged 13, 5, and 5
Mm.
this season. What did he average with the Lakers? Career stat. With the Lakers, he averaged 10 in basically both seasons, 10 points.
Ooh.
He had more
that's even
assists
worse.
and rebounds in his rookie year. He's always been good with steals, though. He's always been good with steals. So, anyway,
yeah, it's not gonna happen.
That's enough of us looking at our laptops. So we were talking a bit about the finals and how the Lakers don't seem to have the Celtics don't seem to have any players who seem to be stepping up from a verbal standpoint as far as taking over the team. That a lot of players just seem to let their play do the talking, and Noah was saying that he doesn't think that that's really completely beneficial to the team, because there isn't that player who's really like keeping the team focused and that kind of thing. And we were just sort of talking about the positives and negatives of that. And I was saying that, like, I think it's really Udoka who's doing that from the bench, as the coach.
It came from a standpoint, CJ, of like, I think that I don't know if I want them to win, but if they lose, like, I think it'll just come down to like maturity level. Like, I feel like they need to grow up. Do you agree with that?
You're on mute.
Ooh, thanks. There's definitely something to be said about, the fact that the Warriors have been there, what?
6 times.
3 out of the last 4 or 5 years, I think, or something.
6
like
out
that.
of the last 8.
Yeah. So, I mean, that obviously has a lot to do with it. Those guys, know what they're doing as far as when it comes to being in finals. They're not really starstruck by the moment, where I feel like, don't get me wrong, like I love Tatum and stuff, but I also feel like the moments sometimes get too big for him and he just doesn't respond.
Yeah.
So whether that's a maturity level or just experience, or, I think it can be, I think you could say it's any one of those.
It's hard for me to say maturity because they have been in the league for 5 years.
Yeah, but I mean, he's still only 24.
Yeah, that's not young in the NBA anymore.
I mean, what, most guys are coming out at 21, 22?
Or 20 or 19.
Yeah.
And pretty soon they're going to get rid of the rule again, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
The college rule.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what is it? What is the mandatory right now?
You got to play 1 year.
Just 1 year of college or the G League.
Oh, really?
And the G League thing
that's
was
such a
just
joke.
recently added.
Yeah, that's a joke, though. Like, what is 1 year? Like, I mean,
especially for the guys that know they're going.
Well, the G League's good. I mean, the Warriors found Jordan Poole there.
No, I get that aspect. I'm just saying, like, really though, like, okay, so let's put it in perspective. Okay, so if I'm an owner, or well, I guess if I'm an owner of a or if I'm a school, right? If I'm a collegiate, if I'm a college, and I want those guys to come to play for me, I want my programs to get better. Then yes, I want that in place, right? So they want those guys to come to their school so that they can get more attention, get more money, or whatever. But in the longevity, and if we're arguing that it's good for the basketball player in that, okay, well, they're getting an education, and that way, if NBA doesn't work out, but it's still only 1 year, so it's like,
yeah, I think everyone knows it's kind of a sham. I mean,
yeah,
the top players they call one and done. Because they just go for 1 year and they plan to leave.
Right.
And everyone knows that.
Evening classes.
Right. And now with the NIL in place, it's got to be even less about academics for these guys.
You're about to see a different Wild Wings commercial for every single location that's near college with a different college superstar from the basketball team.
Except Nebraska, where it'll be the girls' volleyball team.
I'm sure.
The women's volleyball team, I mean. So, yeah.
Why don't we circle back? Do we want
to what?
The finals, or is that wrapped up?
Let's circle back to the finals. So the Golden State is back. They're up 3-2. They had a tremendous victory in Game 5. That was a show of experience versus inexperience to me.
Yeah.
Right? They're up by 16 at one point. Then they go down.
And the other part of that was I wasn't, when they were up 16, I was like, okay. I wasn't nervous that much. I was nervous because it's the finals and anything can happen. But I'm like, you're up 16. I'm like, you're playing really good defense. Okay, you've shut down Curry. I'm like, you got this. You have this.
Right.
Because they weren't doing anything in the first half. I mean, they were down 16.
Yep.
And they would hit the shot, but it was
then Poole gets hot, Clay gets hot.
Yeah.
Draymond is probably, I still think, the most underrated player in the league.
Except he's stuff following, but
that's his game, is fouling. So, if you're talking, CJ, you're on mute again. I don't know if you're talking to us or if you're
talking no. I was just agreeing that his, I was thinking that I was having an argument, or not argument, but a good conversation with a guy that was the Golden State fan, and he was just saying, but that's Draymond's game, and I was saying that okay, I had a guy tell me yesterday that he felt like this was Golden State's last real chance at getting a championship, and I just was like, what?
Yeah, no.
What are you talking about? I said, give Clay another full year of being back, and he'll be better than he was this year. Poole's playing outstanding now, and then you got obviously Curry, and it's and now Draymond is not even playing to the caliber that, you know what I'm saying, he could be playing at. And his argument was just that, well, Draymond's going to be Draymond, and I was thinking that Draymond would mature because he's seen what happens to his teams when he doesn't play. He
has matured into what he is, and I think his everyone accepts him for what he is.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's his argument was just he's going to get a bunch of technicals, and that's just kind of how it is. And I was thinking in my head he would almost try to tone it down a little bit.
He has.
He does during the regular season. He has
toned it down a lot as far as the technicals.
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't think he gets. He doesn't. I don't think he actually gets that much fouls in the regular season anymore. But when the playoffs come around or they're back in the finals,
he's got to be an agitator because they need an agitator.
Yeah, he's just a rabid dog.
Yeah, for sure.
To a point. I mean, when you see him play point center, which is when he's on the floor, it's pretty fun to watch the Warriors go in the way that they, do their cuts, and the way Curry just circles around underneath the basket, around to the other side, and then just keeps running and never stops running until he finds his spot on the court, and that kind of thing. And the chemistry between him and Draymond is incredible. And the passes that Draymond can hit with Steph, especially when Steph is driving towards the net, those when you see those passes, I think it's just incredible to watch. You don't see that kind of chemistry between many players anymore, and these guys have been doing it. They were drafted in the same year and have been doing it for 10 years now. I mean, so that's what happens when you have that kind of consistency and you play and you're two really great players. So, that's my thought. I love Green as a player. I love Green as a player.
I like him too. I just think it's crazy that he will cover sometimes covered like the biggest guy on the court. Like I always thought that was pretty
at
wild.
6'6".
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like he's not that big, but yet he'll be out there, and like I always thought that'd be. But he plays so tough that it's like,
and long. I mean, he does
Yeah.
play tall, and he can jump. I mean, there were some of his dunks where it seemed like he jumped out of the arena. You know, as high as as high as any of the other guys who were dunking,
Yeah.
except for maybe Wiggins, who we can talk about now.
Do we think this is going to Game 7?
I said it. I said if the Celtics are going to win, it's going to go to 7.
You did say that, and I have.
too.
I think the Celtics might win.
Well,
See,
I don't know.
just-
My point was just that I knew that if Golden State was going to win, they'd win it. Like they'll win it next game. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're going to win, they'll win it next game. And I think if the Celtics can pull that
they'll
out, I think they'll win.
I mean,
Well, this is going back to Boston. Game 6 is in Boston.
Well, Game 7 is as Golden
Exactly.
State.
Oh, that's
at home.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So they win at Boston.
We'll know pretty quickly.
Oh yeah.
I think into the
Most-
game.
Most of these past 3 games we've known pretty quickly.
Well, except the
Or
last
2
game.
games. 2 games. Well,
So the last game when there was a 16-point lead that got blown, and then
yeah.
a 10-point lead that got blown the other way, and then
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was I think these finals have been really fun.
I think I was just about to say that. Is this not the perfect matchup? Honestly,
It is a really good matchup.
like
I mean, we were saying that before, like that these two teams match up better than like the Heat and Golden State would have matched up,
or even Milwaukee, Brooklyn,
Right.
literally anyone. Honestly, like Memphis, no,
It's-
Memphis is in the
no.
West. Philly, no.
right,
Philly would have gotten killed,
right,
and they did. They did by
They did.
Miami.
right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think you could have picked 2 better teams.
And that's why they're in the finals.
Yeah.
Because they're the 2 best teams.
But I meant from like watchability and like matchup. Like it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're blown leads. They come back. They do this. They do like.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's a lot of fun to see all these players. I think the funnest part is seeing all of the tools that all of these players on both teams have. You know, you have a 6'10" Al Horford who's kind of waiting in a corner to hit a 3-pointer, you know, and that kind of thing, and
Mhm.
playing a little tough underneath to get his rebounds. You have Steph have 2 games in a row with 10 rebounds, you know, and that kind of thing.
Last game was the first finals game of his entire career where he did not hit a 3.
Yes, and it was also the first game in 289 or something like that.
Yeah.
That he hadn't hit a 3, which was like the longest streak in the NBA by like
A lot.
100 games or
Yeah.
something. Like that's like a never gonna
And
be
then
broken
it was
record.
like the same, and it was like 80 for like multiple 3s
right.
too.
Right.
Like, yeah. Anyway.
So I think that's probably the part that makes it the most fun is that these players have all the tools. Tatum can drive. Tatum can hit the 3. You know, Smart can drive. Smart can be tough in the lane. You know, Smart is 6'4" and can rebound. You know, I mean, you know, and that kind of thing. And,
Yeah, I mean,
and you watch Jaylen Brown playing amazing defense at one end and then flying down the court and either popping and stopping or, you know, that kind of thing. And you see it. And obviously you see the Warriors be the Warriors. You know, every time the Celtics go up, you just kind of see somebody take their moment, whoever it is, whether it be, you know, I mean, it's been all different players, but I mean,
Wiggins, yeah.
Clay, you know, I mean, I always think of Clay as the guy who is the steady guy of them, who is like, okay, I'm going to go hit a 3 now to keep us in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what
Clay's
I mean?
your most efficient, in my opinion. Like he's the Like he has probably the highest shooting, like 3% or shooting. You know what I mean? Like, because when he takes his shots, they're good shots. Like,
yeah,
I mean, he's a true catch and shoot.
Yeah, and I don't know if
but he'll also find his spot. Like he'll move around and find his spot. And there's been a couple times where he's either been where he's been double teamed, and he'll just shoot between the two double team guys, and like where it's like a crucial shot, and I'm sitting there going no, and then it goes in, and you're like, okay, that's Clay. Like he should have known. You know, like if Poole was taking that shot, or somebody else, you would be like, ugh. But when it's Clay, you almost, and it's clutch, and you need a clutch shot. Like I almost feel like it's always Clay.
So how does the Celtics win? Just having Tatum step up and Brown remain, and you just play good defense? I mean, I feel like they've done that.
I think Curry has to still play off, and Wiggins has to stop playing out of his mind. Yeah. I think it's more about the Warriors. And this was the other question I'm going to ask, and then we'll move forward. So if Golden State wins, is Curry still the favorite to be the MVP of the finals?
Yeah.
Or has it moved to Wiggins?
I think if Wiggins is the reason they win again, then I mean if they win Game 6 and it's Wiggins' play again that motivates everybody, that gets everybody going. I guess he doesn't like us anymore. That gets everybody going again. Where he's just grabbing rebounds, like having these insane hops that you've never seen before, and like. If that all happens, then he'll win MVP, because I mean it's decided by the writers,
right? So
whoever leaves that last impression. But if Curry goes out, drops 40, and like breaks the NBA finals record,
I just think he needs to not have another game like last.
Yeah, but I think I don't think he can go out there and put up like 15, 5, and 5. Like he needs to at least go put
That's
up.
What I'm
he
saying.
needs to put up at least like 25, 30.
That's what I'm saying. He needs to have another game where he's efficient. I guess is the best way to say it.
Yeah.
Where he's grabbing boards, he's doing stuff, he's getting steals, playing smart basketball. He's not taking threes from half court. Like how many times did he do that in the last game? Like 3 or 4 times.
I think though that the thing that the Celtics are doing, which is really good, but it's impacting the rest of their defense, is they're putting like 2 guys near the top, and kind of like having them come at like an angle on Curry, so they're like, go to the middle, and we'll have 2 guys block you. And I think Curry is getting agitated with that, and he's trying to like find his spot and do all. I mean, you saw it last game. I mean, that Robert Williams block.
He always takes. Yeah, that was crazy.
I mean, that was insane.
He always takes those shots from far away, right? And that's always a heat check for him and to get him going. But when he misses 4 of them, he needs to stop taking them.
But there was a point though where he took like 3 of those in a row, which is why
exactly what I just said. So
no, I know, but well, okay, but that's why I'm saying, like, I think he was getting agitated, and I think if the Celtics are able to do that again while playing better defense everywhere else, I think that's how they win. You keep Curry agitated, you keep him off his game, and then you just have to play good one-on-one defense.
Yeah, I guess you need to not let Curry play.
I mean, you can't let
Curry, and you need to make Wiggins calm down. I mean, you just have to have everything go right if you're the Celtics, I guess.
Well, I mean, and like, how often did that happen in the leading up to the finals, though? Like, I mean, if I recall,
with Golden State,
with both of them, really though. Like, if you look at Golden State and how the Grizzlies lost Morant for the final 2. Now they played well without him, the first one, but I know that he had a lot to do with them losing that. And then if the other side, you look at the Heat, and didn't they lose Butler for a game or 2 during that time?
Well, he had his knee inflammation thing that he kept using as an excuse.
Did he not play for some games, or did he play every
Yeah,
game?
He played
I don't think he didn't. I think he didn't play for one game.
one game.
So I'm saying, like, you know, they both got somewhat lucky in that the two teams that they were playing against, their stars were gone. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it's
Still, Golden
crazy.
State is Golden State to me.
Oh no,
Like,
100%.
That's what I was saying. Like, if you remember,
Yeah.
even in the Memphis series, I'm like, after they lost by 56 points, it was like,
Yeah,
still okay. They're just gonna put this behind them because they're a championship pedigree, and they're just gonna move forward, you know, and that kind of thing. So anyway, let's unless you have anything else to add, CJ, we're gonna.
I like Noah's comment about keeping the guys up top on defense, because your biggest hurdle with Golden State is getting off screens for those open threes. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of teams have always struggled against them because they know how to set screens, and then they know how to get guys open around the perimeter on those screens. And if the defense can step up a little higher and be ready for that and be ready, I think that they'll, like you said, frustrate them. I think it'll be better.
Well, I mean, that's why they got that lead, because they kept stepping up on the screens.
Yeah.
But then Golden State started going around them.
Well, no, what happened was, and again, we keep saying we're going to wrap up, but we're enjoying talking basketball, viewers, so deal with it. And so what Golden State did after I tweeted it to them, they started moving at a faster pace. You know, they started more fast breaks than half court offense.
Yeah.
And so, you know, once they started doing that offsets the Celtics trying to be able to set their defense, right? And so then they have to go either into a quick zone or say, here's your man, and you got to play him.
Try to stay on him.
Right. So, and that's where running around in those circles really gets people, is when
that's a good point.
State's
Very
moving
good
the
point.
ball and Draymond is driving.
And that's the issue with the Celtics, is they play man to man. They do not. I mean, they obviously have zone setups.
They do,
but very rarely
they played
see
zone
this team.
A lot against Miami. But
they did against Miami.
They haven't played zone a lot against.
They did against Miami because they needed to prevent them from coming inside.
Right.
And they were like, hit the three, take the three, take the shot.
Right.
Like beat us, because you guys don't have no jump shooters.
Right.
Like beat us.
Right.
And
as far as I'm concerned, zone is for that reason. Just, you know, you want to keep more guys in the middle of the paint than out at the perimeter.
And Miami had a bot. I mean, that's what it came down to.
I think if you're the Celtics, maybe you have to think about trying not a 2-3 but a 3-2. You put three guys up top, and you just
they'll slice right through that.
I mean, you gotta.
But then you hit Draymond all day long, you know.
Put two bigs down low, like, you know, and you have just three speedy guys up top.
It's 3-2, and the games have all been close and fun.
Yeah.
With a lot of runs in them, and I mean, so if I'm the Celtics, I'm not looking at this like a doomsday thing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying, okay,
one game at a time.
We've lost one more game than we've won. So, you know.
Well, that's the thing that they kept saying.
We can go out and win.
Yeah, wait, are we at?
Saying, I mean, they were there
it's
against
3-2
Brooklyn.
Golden State.
I know it's 3-2 Golden State, but hasn't Golden State won the last three?
Yeah.
Or am I wrong?
No, they've won two.
They went back and forth, and then Boston won, and then
this was the first
2 in a row.
This was the first time a team won 2 in a row. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then I'm less worried. I thought it was because for some reason I remember it being 2-1 Boston, and then Golden State has one. Oh, okay. Yep.
2 in a row.
Yep,
right.
That's right.
Yep.
Math.
Yep. Math.
Yep.
Yeah.
Math.
I mean, yeah, obviously you're not going to look at this like a doomsday scenario, but I do think you have to make the adjustments. But yeah, you're not going to look at this like a doomsday scenario. I mean, their mantra was, we've been here before. They were here. They went down against Miami. I mean, they were down, I think Brooklyn was 4-0. They were down against Milwaukee last year. They were down against teams. I mean, they've been down against teams before.
So
this
moving
is now
forward.
The finals.
So Minka Fitzpatrick signed a huge deal today. He's a safety for the Steelers, for those who are watching. and he signed a huge deal, a 4-year deal with $36 million guaranteed, and at $18.4 million per season. The Bills are in negotiating phase with Jordan Poyer right now, who was an All-Pro last year, and beat out Fitzpatrick, or was Fitzpatrick the other one?
Fitzpatrick was because Hyde didn't make it.
No, I know Hyde didn't make it, but I was
Yeah.
just trying to. There are other safeties in the league besides Poyer, Hyde, and
Oh, it might have been that guy in
Fitzpatrick.
Tennessee, actually. Hold on.
Yard, or the other guy.
Yeah. Yard. 2021, right?
I don't know. I saw his name.
Yeah,
Titan
Kevin
safety,
Byard.
Kevin Byard.
Woo!
So good job.
Byard, right?
Byard.
He's Byard to me. Like so.
English.
I was like, what? What are we talking about?
Byard. Yeah. Sure.
Byard.
Byard. Yeah,
Byard.
I suppose that makes sense.
Byard.
Byard.
There you go,
Byard. Byard. It's like there's an apostrophe after the B. That's
Yeah. He's foreign.
Byard. Yeah. So back to our point, Minka Fitzpatrick is a great player. He's younger than Poyer. We have to take that into account. But the Bills are in a negotiating phase with Poyer, and Poyer's been smart in waiting up till this point. But this puts the Bills in a very precarious situation. Do you sign him? Do you not sign him? He's turning 31 or 30. He'll be in his 30s at the start of the year. So
The issue here is I do think that this impacts Poyer's contract negotiation because obviously it raises the market. It will raise market value. This is another reset of the safety market. But the issue is age. I don't think Poyer is going to sniff anything close to that.
well, I think you will. If it's not from the Bills, it'll be from someone else.
I think he'll get close, but not the years. Like, you know what I mean? So he'll get less years with close to that money per year.
So if you're the Bills, would you offer almost a fully guaranteed 3-year deal?
Yeah, right.
Like 3 years, $60 million or something?
3 years with an opt-out or something after 2.
I don't think Poyer would go for that. I mean, he's looking
Yeah.
for his payday, right? So I think what's going to happen is the Bills are going to have to guarantee a lot of that contract.
Yeah. I mean, he's still got a year on his contract, right? So he's got till.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you don't want to drag it out as much as
Well, I mean, Bean's thing is if it's not done before the season, then they don't talk about it through the whole season.
Right.
That's their
So-
thing until it's not their thing, though.
Yeah. Till they have to. Till they have to
Right.
make them.
Until they go, well, it's Jordan Poyer. I mean,
Yeah.
did Allen sign in season?
No.
His
You
extension
sure?
wasn't.
They kept saying
His
they
extension
kept
wasn't
saying
in
that.
season?
Remember? No, it was before because they kept asking them both. Well, if you don't get it done before the season, are you guys going to keep talking? And they both were like, no. We'll put it aside. I want to focus on the season.
And then it came right after that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a week after.
Okay.
Yep. I remember that.
So anyway, do you sign Poyer to if Poyer sticks to his guns? Okay, let's just say okay. So here's the next salary on the safety list is Jamal Adams at $17 million. Okay, per season. So Poyer's gonna get his money. He's gonna get 17 or 18 million
Mm-hmm.
with a ton guaranteed. And do we want to do that?
You cannot do 5 years though. Like, there's no way of him.
No,
going
not
into,
5. Well, I mean, the Steelers said this is a 5-year deal, but they're counting the last year of. They're counting this season, which is the last year of his rookie.
Oh, they
deal.
probably renegotiated
Yeah,
this year.
yeah. So
Okay.
And they're calling it a 5-year deal, but it's really a 4-year deal. That just includes this. I don't know why you would call it a 5. Like whatever. It's
weird.
It's 5 plus
It's
or
He must be
NFL.
getting It must be some way of saving something this year for the team, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Something
Yeah,
like
his
that.
cap hit
But-
there this year is probably like $500K or something.
That's what I'm thinking.
With
Yeah.
a huge bonus.
Yep.
Well, if there's $36 million guaranteed, then it very much could be a very low cap hit.
Yeah.
Because they're
So
just writing
he's getting
big
what a
check.
year? 20?
18.4.
Okay.
I mean, Poyer's 31.
Poyer's
And
31.
Adams is 17.
I mean,
It's tough.
Minka's 25. I mean,
I could see him in that 15 to 16 range. I
I was
see him
thinking 16. Highest
Is
you go is
16
like
worth
17.
it? Would you go to 16 or 17 with Poyer on 4 years?
for no more than
Honestly.
yeah, that's my problem though. For no more than 3 years, like you know what I mean. Like that's my issue. If you add a 4th year to it, then I get a little bit.
I think you
Would you
renegotiate
go? Would
this
you go
year.
higher on 3 years?
Would I go higher on 3 years?
More money?
Yeah,
but 3 years?
yeah. I'd do 17.
With like
Yeah.
almost all of it guaranteed.
17 for 3 years with 2/3 of it. Yeah.
With
Well, actually,
45
almost all of
million
it. Yeah.
guaranteed.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
They have $5 million in cap space.
right.
That don't matter.
Yeah, cap space is fake. I mean,
Yeah, like I'm so lost. How you know what I mean? Like, and then when the deal comes, they'll be like, "Oh, we did all that."
I
And
mean,
we
the other
figured
part
it
of it
out."
is you're going to have a ton of money coming off the books next year. The dead money. I mean, you have $16 million in dead money right now.
Okay, but you have Knox, you have Edmonds.
Then that's well, right, and that's the part where I'm hesitant to like if it's a short deal, you know, that's
where you can structure
lower
Knox and
side.
Edmonds to
right. But like if you have to fully guarantee it for him to take less money, I'm fine with that.
well,
As
yeah, it's
long
not
as-
your
if-
money. It's
if-
not you writing the check. So
Well,
yeah,
I wouldn't be like, oh, why are you fully guaranteeing it? If
just
it was
drill
like
another well.
if it was like a 3-year deal, 17 per, fully guaranteed, I'm like, that's not bad. Because by the end of that, you're done with him, in my opinion. Like he's either gonna retire or he's gonna just be bad and move on to like the Jaguars or something. So him and his wife can permanently stay in Florida. But like I'm with CJ. I don't want an elongated deal. I don't want to give him an elongated deal with huge amounts of money. And if that's what he wants, I don't think that's worth it in terms of value. Because you're going to be sitting there with an Earl Thomas type contract and having to do what the Seahawks did and eating like probably you're going to have to eat dead cap if you do that.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to cut him.
Right.
I mean,
And
this
then
is going to
you're
be the
cut-
star
and then-
contract all over again.
And then the amount of the contract you're going to have to cut is going to be $15 million a year,
Right.
probably in that third season if you have to cut him.
I
And
mean,
he's the type of player who doesn't slow down and is very. I mean, seems like he could just get injured quickly. You know what I mean?
I mean, I get it. He wants his payday and everything, but if he's gonna sit there and be like, "I want to be paid like Minka Fitzpatrick," I think as the Bills, you say no. I mean, if Knox has another great year, Gabe Davis has another great year as wide receiver too. You have, you know, what if
Edmonds as well.
Ed Oliver, who also needs to
Yeah.
get paid, he's been consistently growing. You have Tremaine. You have Edmonds, who if I think
They're going to
he needs
keep.
to show.
No, they're going to keep him.
Yeah, but I think they will. But
And a
depending on how
huge-
much money he gets, he still has to
He's
show.
getting paid. He is getting mega paid.
I mean, if all these guys all have good years all over again, do you really want to commit money to a 31-year-old safety? But on the other hand, is they don't have a backup plan
Right now.
right now, right?
But that doesn't mean that there aren't safeties who are going to be out there next year.
Yeah, but if you're gonna go sign a top safety,
It doesn't have to be a
You're gonna
top
be-
safety,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Elam intercepted
I'm-
Allen in practice today.
I'm not giving him a big long contract. I'll give him fully guaranteed money on a short contract, but I'm not paying him until he's like 38. I don't care. That's not worth it. That's just not worth it in terms of NFL value, in terms of career value, in terms of contractual value for the Bills. Like,
So you're not doing it?
No.
Okay. So I guess when we ask what it means for Poyer, it means he's getting paid, whether it's from Buffalo or somewhere else.
I think what it means is that he's just getting his
value.
Right. The value of his contract has now just gone up by a couple million.
Right.
So
So I
maybe
guess
he went from like 14 to 16, 17
He's getting his money
from somewhere.
from somewhere. Also in Bills news, they signed Greg Van Roten, who is a very nice pickup. Played guard and tackle for the Jets. A 50-game starter, something like that. 73 games total played. He is another one of these guys that the Bills love, type of players that the Bills love, in that he can play tackle and guard.
Offensive line.
They have a lot of guys who can do this, and if they keep 9, this probably puts Cody Ford as the odd man out. And if they keep 10, Ford would probably be the odd man out until Bakker gets back.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think at some point they'll keep 10.
I think Cody Ford is going to be in a very short leash.
He's the most precarious situation of real guys that they have.
Yeah, I mean, if he sucks again in camp and through the preseason, bye-bye.
Yeah.
I know they're not going to even attempt it, I think. So I think I don't think they'll keep him unless he shows something.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the stuff
Like-
I saw wrong with him, though, is like not really something that can be fixed in a year. Like, these are things that either his mental state is not where it needs to be, which, okay, if that's the case, then maybe. But, I mean, there was technique flaws, like, when you watched him. You know what I mean? Like, he was not doing what he was supposed to be doing. So it's like, I see no way that he's around, but, I mean, I don't know.
He put a tweet out, and I was surprised that the Bills didn't just let him go.
Yeah,
After
that's what I'm
the
saying.
season. But he put a tweet out after the season that said, it's not all about.
Didn't he reference somebody else? Like a guy that went and got traded and then played a lot better?
Like Spain, maybe, or something.
I
Queen
can't. I
Spain?
swore he referenced someone and was like, "See, everybody said they were
Feliciano?
terrible."
Maybe.
Oh, no, Feliciano I think it was Spain.
Maybe, and
Yeah,
it was just
'cause,
something along the lines
basic
of like
gist of the tweet was like, it's not all about just
coaching staff, almost.
right or something.
Coaching
or I thought it
dependent.
was like positional. Yeah, something. I don't know.
Okay.
That's really good preparation for me to talk about his tweet.
Yeah.
He did say that. He said something
I
along
remember
the
it.
lines of this wasn't his fault. That's basically how it came across.
Yeah,
Like
yep,
him
yep.
playing poorly. If he goes somewhere else, he'll play well. That was how I took it.
Yeah.
In the end. I mean, and
Well, they brought in Cromer and said hopefully bringing in the guy that he did do well under will help him again. So we'll see.
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I was
Um,
excited for him after his first year. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Where there was Cromer.
Where
yeah,
Cromer
I
was a coach.
super
Yeah.
excited for him.
Yeah. So they brought Cromer back. We'll see if he can do his magic, and whether he can
Yeah.
or can't. The Bills are 10 or 11 guys deep.
Back to the Poyer situation. So I even question at this point, like, I know that in more recent past, like the DBs and the back end of the defense has really like had to step up and lead and B, takeaways. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't get a lot of takeaways from the line, from what I recall, right? And my question would be, with the way the defense is now enhanced, and you have to say that they're going to be better on the line than we've seen in a very long time.
Yeah.
Do you reevaluate how much you need Poyer at that point, right? So if
a top tier safety,
you have
that's what I'm saying. If you have your line doing everything, say your line's doing everything, right, and the safety, like it's good to have good safeties back there, but if your line is not giving the quarterback enough time to even get the ball out, like, and obviously we'll see what happens if they'll be that good.
Can you handle having an average safety?
Exactly. Do we got to pay him $17 million when we just upgraded such a huge line? I mean, I would just be interested to see how it shakes out before handing him that money. But then, like you said, if it gets into the year, then they're not going to do it. So it's like, I don't want to piss him off either and say like, okay, well, maybe we do need him.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
He's not happy.
I mean, he changed agents to Rosenhaus to get people to negotiate better because he felt like he was getting lowballed. And then, Rachel Bush went on social media and was like, he's an all-pro.
Yeah,
give him his money.
She did that again. So yeah, I think that's a really good point, CJ. I think that's sort of where my mind was going, was that they
clearly we're not tooling for the back end, right? We're tooling for the front end. Now I know that that's been more of an issue, I guess, but at the same time, they seem to have a plan where if they get where they want to go in the front end, then then I wonder how expendable that back end becomes. Like, yeah, you're going to need a cornerback and a solid one or two guy, and
they
have
Trey locked up. They have Elam locked up for 5 years.
Well, the name of the game now is getting to the quarterback.
They have Taron Johnson at as your third cornerback, and Dane Jackson is there, and everyone was okay with Dane Jackson being the number 2 cornerback if the Bills didn't take one. I mean, nobody was in love with the idea, but people didn't hate it either. They were like, it'll be all right if he has to fill in. And I read some of Von Miller's comments, and he was saying that Trey is the first guy in the building and the last guy out. Like, he never doesn't see him in the building, like rehabbing and everything.
Hyde said something like that too. Like, he's like, you don't know what he's doing.
Right.
Like, he's done all this rehab in the facility in the dark, like away from everybody, but he's like, he's so on track. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we'll have Trey and Elam
I would
and
not
Jackson,
be surprised if Trey was ready for the start of the season.
And Jackson and your Taron Johnson, and I feel like they have another guy.
Yeah, I mean, and to expand Serraniel, and to expand on CJ's point, like, the name of the game now is getting to the quarterback. I mean, is putting the pressure on, and our biggest problem has always been defensive line. So yeah, I mean, CJ brought up a great point there. You don't need to pay Poyer that much. Maybe you can get some. I mean, Hamlin has shown flashes. I mean, maybe
he's a 6th round
maybe
pick.
he's getting a little better.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Brady was a 6th round pick. I don't know if you knew that or not, but
I didn't actually. Thank you.
No, pick 199.
Jordan Poyer was round 7.
Round 7?
218.
Oh, well, that must be 218. Oh, pick number 218. Who knew?
End.
Well, it depends on the draft and how many compensatory picks there are, that kind of thing. So, okay. So Hamlin is around better than Poyer.
So he's going to be better, obviously.
Right. So he's got to be better. He's just going to improve that much. So,
trust process, trust coaches.
That's right.
Sure, we'll go with that. Propaganda. So, another Bills announcement here.
It's like whenever we
I guess-
get worried about something, I'm sorry, but whenever we get worried about something, just trust the process. Just trust the process.
Yeah.
Don't be worried
Yeah.
about it. Just trust the process. It's like we just
McDermott
tell
and Bean
ourselves that.
have this covered, but
Yeah.
yeah. Other Bills announcement: Kim Pegula announced she is under treatment for unexpected health issues.
Now, what does that mean? Like,
That's
that
as
a
far as they
stroke?
went into
or is
it.
that an aneurysm? What is that?
I don't know.
That's
It
as
seems
that's as
serious.
much as they went into it, but unexpected health issues and the need to announce it doesn't make it sound like it's
And the way that they announced it was like this like just happened.
right.
Like it wasn't like we're gonna let people know. Like,
Well, they
this
said
is-
she
this has
is
been a
under
disease.
treatment, not was.
Well,
or,
right, but I'm
Right.
saying like this like just happened. Like something happened to her to cause this. This wasn't like it's not like she. I don't think she has like. Well, she might, but like this isn't like she had cancer from like 5 years ago and is like this isn't like a building up thing. I don't think so, at least, because it was like everybody was like I don't know. We just got the news. Like
right.
she seemed fine when I saw her like 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Like
So yeah, and obviously CJ, they haven't said anything beyond that. So nobody really knows. Nobody has any kind of clue as far as what that means, other than she probably won't be very involved in the Bills this season, unless
oh right, we do have a whole summer.
right.
So maybe we won't have to turn the reins over to Terry.
If we have to turn the reins over to Terry, he better just turn the reins over to Bean.
Yeah.
And
You set the prices.
right, you can do everything. Here you go. Just say, Terry, keep your hands off the Bills. Tinkle. Oh my God, tinker with the Sabres all you want. But keep your hands off the Bills.
Okay, but the thing I do like about Terry, though, when he talks about the Sabres, is he doesn't sit there and go, yeah, I picked Kevin Adams, and yeah, I found Don Granato, and,
Yeah,
you know, I pushed them. He's like, yeah, no, these are smart people. Like, that's why I hired them.
Yeah.
Like, that's all he says. So I do
Yeah.
like that he's not,
he's like,
Dolan.
me like hockey.
Yeah, he's like, I like when they go back and forth and score.
Right.
So let's do that.
I like to sit in the room during the draft and really
go,
have no.
"Whoa."
Oh, yeah, that's very interesting. I'm going to call the player now, okay? So, speaking of finals, we've got NHL finals going on, starting
Tonight,
esta noche.
right now.
Yeah. So we've got the Colorado Avalanche against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Two best teams in the league by far. You couldn't ask for a better matchup.
2 finals that are like that.
Yeah,
It's rare.
great matchup. I mean, it could end up not being great, but so far it's a great matchup.
Still riding with Colorado. I just not picking Tampa. I don't think they stop them. Colorado.
Vasilevsky has to play like Vasilevsky did
Yeah.
every other finals,
Yeah.
not this season. And I think one of the interesting things is the Avalanche have Kadri out, the Lightning have Point out, and both are saying
Point might be back.
And both teams are saying that they'll be back.
Yeah.
And that Kadri might be back tonight, and
Yeah.
Point might be back tonight. So they're both ready.
That's right, because they had Kadri skate without a stick today and just do a
Right.
bunch of drills.
Right.
They were like, he looks fine.
Right. So,
Yeah, Elliot Friedman was like, wow, I was not expecting
right.
to see
That
that.
was a very big surprise to have Kadri or Point, honestly.
Well, they had Point. It was a surprise. It wasn't really that much a surprise because they had Point practicing in the last series. They had
Right.
him doing all that
I mean,
stuff,
but just for him to come back at all.
oh
is,
yeah,
is what I mean.
yeah,
Like to have him being able to rehab and be back, that's a huge gain for both teams to have those guys back.
Mhm.
I mean, you saw with Colorado that losing Kadri probably wasn't as important as Tampa losing point, but both teams rallied and showed their depth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but Braden Point is, I mean, he was the MVP last year, right? He was the
finals MVP.
Finals MVP, yeah, last year. So
I mean, he's huge for them and as C2. I mean, it's just
right.
He brings so much value and offensive firepower, and he's just speed. Like it's just he brings a whole nother dimension to their offense when he's on the ice.
Yeah. He's like Steph Curry, and then he never stops moving.
Yeah, honestly, he doesn't.
Never stops moving, which is impressive. He's a little water bug out there.
Who you got, CJ?
Avalanche or Lightning?
Lightning.
Okay.
No question.
You going Lightning too?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
Hey, the Avalanche.
Colorado's time.
They can score in droves.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. It's been harder on the Lightning, but this will be the worst goalie
I'll get her.
faced.
That's true. That's yeah. Both goalies have to play well.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's easier.
Or
it's easier to bet on Vasilevsky playing well
That's true.
than it is on Kemper.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, this is either going to be like the highest scoring finals in NHL history.
It won't be because
or-
Vasilevsky isn't that player.
That's true. Well, yeah.
He just isn't. Even at his level down. Like if he's not at his top level, he's still,
Yeah.
excellent. One of the 3 best goalies in the league.
Yeah, he just has to. He can't let Colorado just score.
Right.
And have them go down big, and then he plays well.
Right. In other Sabres news, the Sabres are sending Ryan Miller to the rafters. Number 30 is getting retired this season, heading up with the likes of the French Connection, Dominic Hasek, Rick Jeanneret, Seymour H. Knox, and Tim Horton, and Pat LaFontaine.
Yeah, don't forget about him.
Yes.
Get mad.
He'll get mad and have a tantrum. Whatever.
You said Perot, right?
What?
French Connection.
French Connection. I caught him.
All right.
Oh, and
One.
Danny Gare.
One full swoop. Yeah, I can't forget.
It's one foul swoop.
No.
Didn't
No.
wasn't the, no?
We did not have a conversation about it. Unless I'm like,
Wasn't
memory loss.
at the comedy thing we were at? Wasn't that? No, it must have been on Netflix or something.
Yeah,
that I was
no.
watching one about a guy arguing with his wife about
No.
how to use one fell swoop.
That's not.
No, I know it wasn't Mulaney. I was
Okay.
thinking it was the guy ahead of it. But
Oh.
anyway, yeah, we saw John Mulaney, 10 stars. He was really, really good.
So I got a question about that. Did he like talk about his personal life in it or no?
Yeah, the whole time.
Okay, so it was all about like him leaving his wife and
No.
No,
He told
he-
the
he-
whole story.
He touched on that pretty quickly,
Yeah.
like the part
Okay.
about the wife and he basically just said, so this has been my life, and then he had jokes about his drug abuse and about his intervention, about
his
having
star-studded
his kid,
intervention.
his star-studded intervention. Yes.
wow.
Nick Kroll was there. Natasha Bedingfield was there.
Natasha Bedingfield, that's his singer. Natasha Leon.
Natasha Leon was there.
Betting
Seth
field.
Meyers.
Seth Meyers, Bill Hader, Fred Armisen.
Wow.
Yeah, he was like it was a who's who of alternative comics in their 40s. So
What did he use? Was it just alcohol or what was it?
Oh, he had this whole
Cocaine.
list. No, he had a
Oh.
list of like 5 drugs. He's like, I was hooked on cocaine. He just had this cocktail. He was like, it was like cocaine, Adderall, Klonopin, and there were 2 others. He's like, that was my cocktail. And he's like, and he said like he walked into rehab holding all those drugs in his coat. like
Like a zipper
Like I
pocket.
need
in a
to.
zipper pocket, and he thought he would sneak them in, and that kind of thing.
He was like,
Yeah, I know
how
a lot
did
of the
those
stuff.
drugs get there?
I just know there's been a lot of stuff that's come out of the media as far as like his relationship, and he's got a new girlfriend or a small child now that he just had recently. But there was this thing where, like, I don't know, almost like his wife didn't know about it, or I don't know.
You know, he didn't talk about that or anything. Or,
Yeah, he
Okay.
didn't hit on the ex-wife and that kind of stuff. I mean,
Gotcha.
yeah, there has
I'm
been a lot
sure
in the
it
media about
explained.
that.
I'm sure it explained a lot, though. Like as far as the issues with her, that's probably had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, it was probably the drug use, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you
and
would
being
think.
crazy and for sure.
Well, he got
That's
his haircut from Saturday Night Live
yeah,
the night of
High
the intervention.
on cocaine.
cool.
The night of the intervention, he went to the Saturday Night Live studios to get his haircut while he was high on cocaine, and he was supposed to meet them at 7:00 for the intervention, and that's when he went to get his haircut. Was at 7:00 because he just didn't care, like that kind of thing. Because he was he was just talking about it.
And
then it was really good.
Six of them were there in person, and 6 of them were by Zoom. And he was like,
"If you really cared about me,
yeah,
you would have come to New York."
Thought, if you're sitting there going, well, why didn't you say? If you really cared about me, you would have came to New York and not have been over Zoom. And he was like, "Don't worry, I said that
I wrote
multiple times.
I wrote that soapbox all the way."
That's funny.
Yeah, but it was good. It was really funny, and the openers were pretty good. I thought
the sound was off. So
the sound was off on. It was tough to hear the first guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Mulaney has a very clear voice, so you know, the second guy. I mean, they were just 2 average comics, and then Mulaney blew them out of the water. I mean, he did about an hour set, I think, 45 minutes to an hour.
Mm-hmm.
He was awesome. He was just.
That's cool.
I didn't stop laughing through the whole thing.
Only
started talking to this kid in the crowd.
Oh my god! 12 years old.
12. He goes, "How old are you?" The kid goes, 12. And he's like, a 12-year-old at my show.
Yeah.
And he was like, and this was before he started talking about anything. So he was like, so I'm trying to think.
And then he's like,
and then he like takes a pause and he's like, how much do you know about? He goes, do you know like what I did? He's like, how much do you know like what I'm going to talk about tonight? And what did the kids? The kid
was like, yes, and he was like, oh, okay. So what do you?
What
know?
did I do?
What did I do? And the kid was like, terrible things.
That's what the kid said. And Mulaney just started cracking. It's like, terrible.
Oh, that's good. Terrible things.
It was hilarious.
Oh, that's good. I've only seen one stand up live, and that was Kevin Hart when I was 18 years old. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this is before he was. Yeah, this was before he even was who he is now, obviously. But he had come to a college that I was at, and he performed for free, and I was like, "Let's go."
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Go.
Considering he's playing the arena now.
Yeah, it's like hard to top that. It's like, do I ever want to go to another one? Like, you know what I mean? Next
time I perform, you can come to my show.
I'll be there. I'll invite the 10-year-old, so you'll have some stuff to talk about.
Noah will be there. I'll have plenty to talk about.
Okay.
So what do we think of Ryan Miller going to the Raptors? Deserved?
Yeah.
Ryan Miller, yes.
Didn't he lead? Isn't he the
all-time leader in wins for the Sabres? Yes.
Yeah.
He's not the best goalie he'd ever play for the Sabres.
Okay, well he's already up in the Raptors. You did that already.
Okay. Yeah, he carried games though.
And now you move on to the second best goalie. In Sabres history.
Well, there's a lot of people who are saying, that retiring a number and putting a player up there, a jersey, whatever, you're putting that up there is really for the top echelon. So
he is though.
Okay.
I think he is. I mean, if you look at Sabres history, I mean.
Well, and that's my take is it's.
I mean, he led them through multiple playoff runs. He got them.
I mean, the Celtics have retired like 40 numbers or something, right? So
yeah, and not every one of those players deserved it. If we're being completely honest. That's too many numbers.
no, and that's my point. Though. You'll get to a point, right, where when you retire a guy's number from 1960,
right,
and you're looking at his stats and you're going, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
You know.
But he was transformative to the game because he, did the crossover or something like.
Yeah, I mean the Celtics just had teams that were dominant, so I mean it was a different. But my point is like Will Miller's numbers always be worth him having his number retired. I mean, I suppose you can't do it based on that, but you also can, because I just did.
Yeah, because you would have. I mean,
he's the all-time leader until he isn't. Is that sort of your argument?
To a point, but even if somebody passes him, he's then second.
Right.
And then you would have to have another goalie pass him again for him to then drop down to third.
Oh, that's how that works?
So, no, I'm just saying, like, he's still going to be up there. He's still going to be ahead of Hasek. And you have to have two goalies play and win as many games as he did to even pass him. So like that isn't a thing. I don't know.
That jersey being retired.
I think it's deserved. What do you think, CJ? You think it's deserved?
I definitely think it's deserved, but I mean that he was like my childhood. So like
he was Noah's favorite player since the time he was at Michigan State. So
you're
both
like,
Michigan State guys. I forgot about that. So
yeah, so like I just love him, and I honestly like I always put like my criteria for people like numbers being retired and going in the Raptors, stuff like that, in pretty much any sport is how much of an impact did you make year to year, game to game. And to me, there's a few games that I remember where he won it for us. His holding.
So you're saying for their team, and I guess that's the argument is how much impact did you have either.
I mean, didn't he win a Vezina?
Yes, he did. For your team, for your own team, versus how much of an impact did you make on the league?
Okay,
but it's not like his jersey's being retired by the league. It's being retired by the Sabres.
Yeah, right. It's not going in the Hall of Fame or anything like that. He's just going into the Bills.
Right.
Or Sabres,
He's going into the Sabres Hall.
And he went into the Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Which is also deserved. I mean,
just a week ago.
He was here for, 12 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I'm not arguing the fact. I'm just playing devil's advocate more than
yeah. No, I get
it. So, I actually agree. So, are there any Bills comparisons of players whose numbers are, or who aren't on the Wall of Fame? I guess. Who sort of deserve to be there?
Eric Mould, maybe.
I know we've talked about this before, but I was trying to
Marv
think
Levy. Marv Levy.
He's up there.
Doesn't deserve to be up there.
He changed it on us.
Oh, snap.
No, I dislike Marv. Yeah, I dislike him.
That's fair. To each their own.
I'll give you a reason. I want to say it was against the Cowboys. Jimmy Johnson was the coach at that time, or am I wrong?
Yeah.
Reed was open all day in the first half, and then Jimmy adjusted to it, and we didn't adjust back. And I felt like even Ray Charles could have got that team to a Super Bowl that many times, and probably won one. You know what I mean?
Well,
like that.
I think it's impressive to go to 4 when no other team has done it.
Very, very, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it takes some kind of.
It's like so hard for me to agree with this. Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
It takes some kind of leader person at the helm to be able to do that, right?
But still 4.
But they lost all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I understand.
But that's the thing. Like that's okay. So we're at that point, right, where it's like, okay, he had to be a really good leader to get them there. Okay. Well, so we're just below the like an amazing one to win it all, right? I mean, it's like that's where it's tough for me. It's like Yeah, I guess. I mean, you could argue that it was his leadership that got him there 4 times, but where was that leadership during those games? You know, and I always put a lot on the players at that time being exceptional, and I put more of the success. I put more of the success on the GM and the people, not the GM, I'm sorry, but the scouting staff and the people that are drafting, which I want to say at that time was Polian, right?
Polian was the GM. Yeah. John Butler was the head scout. And then he became the GM after two of the Super Bowls. So,
and I give a lot more credit to them. Like, I give a lot more credit to Polian than I do Levy. But that's me.
To each their own. Polian has built winners in 4 different places. Yep. So it's hard to say that he doesn't know how to do it, or or he at least used the Bills as a roadmap. So real quick, back to the Sabres. Other moves: they traded for Ben Bishop just for a money trade to get to the cap floor, or help them get to the cap floor. Basically, they were given a 7th-round pick to take on a player who's never going to play for them, and so huge deal. You know, this 7th-round pick is going to turn into Jordan Poyer. And
next Sidney Crosby.
Next Sidney Crosby. That's what we're getting. And the Bandits play in the finals on Saturday.
Yeah, last game.
For
all the marbles.
They are playing Colorado. And it's a home game. So everyone go. Wear your orange. Let's go Bandits. And let's go Bandits. That's everything I had to cover. Noah, you got anything? No?
CJ, you got anything?
No?
All right.
No.
I just want to give props to George Washington College or George Washington University on dropping the Colonials nickname. No, they haven't revealed what their new nickname will be, but dropping the Colonials is a step in the right direction.
Axis.
Truth. Yeah, cannot tell a lie.
Right. Wooden teeth.
The liars. Anti-liars.
Right.
Yeah.
All
right, we'll work on it. And
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out
for them and then write them a note.
I think we got that.
Under 21 women's volleyball, USA finished first. Won the gold. So I'm very proud because 3 of my Nebraska girls were on it. America from the heartland. And that covers it. So if you want to take us home, go right ahead.
All right. Well, if you made it to the end, we appreciate you for watching as always. And subscribe.
Lemonade, I guess, please.
Interact with us on Twitter at Gameday716. As always, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. Let's go Bandits, and we'll see you next time.
Stay sunny, Buffalo.